So, spoiler warning for the newest Warrior Cats book. We're talking about Tawnypelt today, and a major spoiler about her. So, the Elder's Quest. You might have thought with a title like that there'd be a quest in there somewhere, but not really. Aside from a couple of the cats checking in on Two Legs poisoning the river. The actual questing is coming later, as confirmed in a visit Tawnypelt has the Star Clan, where Blue Star talks to her. A quest that will probably result in brand new territory. But who cares? Today we're talking about Tawnypelt's new crush, which in the fandom has outweighed a lot of the discussion of the journey, or Leaf Star stepping down, or even Moonpaw's little ghost sister. Who cares about the actual plot, when we can all just gawk at a few quotes that look plucked straight out of fanfiction? And the subject of Tawnypelt's newfound affection? None other than Crowfeather. Which is crazy for two reasons. One, if this were to go through, this would be Crowfeather's fourth love interest. I think that has to be a record for Warrior Cats, and would mean that he has had a relationship with one cat from each of the original 4 clans, like he's collecting them or something. And the second crazy thing is that, out of all the ships for Warrior Cats to make reality, they chose a pair that nobody in the fandom likes. So I had this Warrior Cat ship poll that I was going to make a video on, but I think I'm going to save it for Valentine's Day at this point. But since it's super relevant to this video, I will give you a sneak preview of some results. Let's start with Tawnypelt. The question is, who do you ship with Tawnypelt? And right here we see every cat who received more than 1% of the vote. Now you don't see Crowfeather here, because out of the 1,428 people who casted a vote for this question, only 6 of them said Crowfeather, making it less than 0.5% of the voters. Every other Prophecy Quest pairing option performed better than Crowfeather. And then we look at who people ship Crowfeather with. 1,635 people cast votes for his ships, and only 4 people said Tawnypelt, making it less than 0.25% of voters. In the original poll, I even had the Tawnypelt and Crowfeather questions right next to each other, and even then it barely registered for people to pick them together. It's just that rare of a pair. So now that we've established the what, let's look at the how. How does Warrior Cats justify such a random ship? Well, they go investigate Two Legs together, and it all goes downhill from there. They don't really have any chemistry at all. There is more so a string of Tawnypelt making observations about him. Crowfeather gives simple orders to the group, and Tawnypelt thinks about how cool of a leader he's going to be one day. During a gathering, she feels pity for him losing Feathertail. When they see the extent of Two Leg damage, she admires him for being honest that he is scared. There's nothing really here, just casual respect. But then they run away from a dog together, and share a meow of laughter, as Warrior Cats often do. Crowfeather compliments her one time, and that's it. She loves him now. Crowfeather didn't even have to save her life, so it's more sudden than Leafpool. Tawnypelt thinks about Crowfeather exactly 2 times after this moment. And that's enough for her dead mate Ravenclaw to visit her in a dream to tell her it's okay if she loves another cat. Like, Ravenclaw, my guy. Don't you think this is a bit early? She has a couple of intrusive thoughts because Crowfeather complimented her one time. Tawnypelt hasn't even fully admitted to herself that she likes Crowfeather yet, let alone actually talk to him about her feelings. But even so, Ravenclaw immediately has to let her know that it's okay if she loves another cat and that he wants her to be happy. Star Clan forbid Tawnypelt actually has to make her own moral judgment and face an actual emotional conflict on whether or not she wants to move on from him. And Ravenclaw shipping Tawnypelt with Crowfeather happens before Blue Star warns her of their entire society being at risk of collapse. So Star Clan is more invested in Tawnypelt's romance than a threat to their own existence. Okay, sure. Listen, I know Warrior Cats isn't exactly known for creating the most developed and complicated romance plots, and I could probably list out a few that are way worse than this one, but this has to be one of the most nothing pairings they've done. It feels like a marketing stunt. Like they decided placing 2 well-known characters in a romance would create ripples in the fandom and thus spread the word that a new book is released and create interest for it. And well, I'm making this video, so well played. It 100% drummed up more interest in the book. And that's ultimately Warrior Cat's goal, to sell more books. And to be clear, I'm not like overly upset. I'm okay with this ship being a thing because I think it's funny and harmless. It gives us something to talk about. I don't really mind if the writing isn't peak fiction, it's Warrior Cats. I'll gladly take something goofy like this over a boring book. I think between this, the introduction of the Secret Sixth Clan, and introducing a Chimera Cat, Warrior Cats really seems to be taking on a strategy of introducing a lot of things to spark conversation, while sort of half-baking the actual plots attached to them. Well, except for Moonpaw, she's cool. More on her in a future video. Alright, bye everyone!